Today we're going to be installing these Arlen Ness saddlebag latches. I've already installed the other one on the bike, so that's why you only see one set here. But the bag latches, a couple of screws that attach, otherwise you use the factory hardware. These two screws that are included will be used to replace the screws that hold on the locking mechanism. They include a little instruction manual which basically refers everything to the service manual. But again, you're going to be using the factory hardware, so just be careful not to strip the screws that are used in this, as the ones that are on the bike and these two right here are very small screws, so they're easy to strip. They do take Allen and star bits on some of these different screws, so make sure you're using the correct one. It's easy to mix them up and then you'll strip them. So alright, let's remove the factory bracket right now. Okay, so I've opened up the saddlebag, and basically we have 4 screws to remove the whole lid assembly. There's 2 screws, I don't know if you can see it depending on the lighting here, but there's a screw on each side that basically goes through the strapping that holds your bag from, or your lid from falling over. There's going to be 2 under those as well once you remove the strap. Now, this could be a 2-person job because obviously you're going to have to hold this, take those off, and then you no longer have support. So if you got a friend that can hold the lid while you take out these 4 screws, it would be very helpful. Okay, I got the strap off. I'm holding it with my right hand, and I'll try to get the camera in there to be able to see the other 2 screws located right there. So once you loosen those and remove those, you have a whole saddlebag lid. So again, it helps if you have another person to do this. I'm going to go ahead and remove the 2 and take the lid to the bench. Okay, now I got the bag lid over to the table, and first thing we're going to do is remove the 2 screws for the locking assembly. And you can either throw those away or throw them in your toolbox, since Arlen Ness provided 2 new screws for that assembly. Once those are out, we're going to remove these 3 screws right here. That'll actually allow everything to come apart as far as the actual saddlebag latch, so we can replace it with the Arlen Ness one. These 5 screws here, I have not checked the service manual, but I do not see any residue on them as far as a Loctite, so you should not need to use any Loctite. Okay, I've actually removed the old saddlebag latch. Again, the only thing that holds that on is the 3 screws that we removed here. I've already replaced the 2 screws here with the new screws that Arlen Ness provided. So at this point, all we need to do is set this back up in here. Be careful of this hinge here because it wants to come over and hit your new cover. So you're just going to want to make sure you're careful when you're putting this on here and not let that flap over and hit it. Actually, I'll put a piece of protective tape along there just to prevent that from happening. And I'll go ahead and put these 3 screws in. Okay, now I do have the Arlen Ness bag latch on there. It looks great. Again, just reattached using those 3 screws right here. Just double check everything, make sure these 3 screws and the locking mechanism 2 screws are tight as well. And at this point we can go ahead and assemble the lid back to the bike using the 4 screws that we initially used to take it out. So just reverse the process. I will be using a little bit of red Loctite on these screws, as you can tell that there was some left over from the factory. So I will go ahead and put just a small drop of red Loctite on those, and we'll go ahead and put the bag lid back on the bike. Okay, now we're going to attach the lid to the bag, and remember, only put in the middle 2 screws because the outside 2 screws will be for the flap that retains the lid from opening all the way. So I've already got some Loctite on my screws, again just a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and attach those center 2 screws and then put the flap down. Don't forget to do that. Put the flap down and put the screws through the flap into the bracket. Tighten everything up and you'll be complete. And there's the completed saddlebag latch. Looks really darn good.